Hello, and welcome to Anna Stories Live, a show that shares people's journey of living with neurofibromatosis. I'm your host, Brandy, and on today's episode, I get to sit down with Mike. Mike is a father of two boys, one who has NF, and he's here to share a dad's perspective of it. Welcome, Mike, and thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
So I know it's been a while since you've sat down with the foundation and shared your story. So I was wondering if you could, for all of our viewers who maybe don't know Jaxon's story, if you could give us a quick background from beginning to now and where you guys are.
Sounds great. So lots has happened since the last time we have seen each other. We found out now that Emerson has it as well. Emerson has not a plexiform tumor, just a regular neurofibroma tumor on his spine. It's not impairing anything at this point in time, but he is starting to see the changes and stuff like that. Jaxon, on the other hand, well, that's a big story. We started when he was 2, started off with extreme pain out of nowhere, like blood-curdling screams, and it was so shocking. We had no idea what was happening. Rushed him into the hospital, and they told us that he has NF, like his mom and a few other people on her side of the family. So that's where our journey really began, because people in Canada, as we know, don't know a lot about NF. So we had to do the research. The doctors had to do the research. Jaxon underwent 2.5 rounds of chemo until they stopped making the interferon in injections for children to take at home. So he stopped that. Then he got his Make-A-Wish, which is pretty amazing. He got to go to so many different places. Thank God for the amazing people out there that donate to the Wish Foundation, that gives the kids like Jaxon the opportunity to be able to see and do things that, because of the financial burdens of it as well, you know, we can't afford to take our children on these fancy trips or even take a vacation for ourselves. So the Make-A-Wish Foundation was a blessing for us to actually go to Disney World and show Jaxon a little bit different side of life, that there is people that care and there's wonderful places for him to see and not concentrate so much on the NF. So then we came back and we started noticing that, you know, the financial burdens of the back braces, the shoe lifts, stuff like that. So we started reaching out. We found that the Shriners in BC is a very underused resource. They have tons of money. I talked to them actually just a few weeks ago. They said as soon as they can, they would like to, if Jaxon needs it, he needs to jump on a plane to go to Salt Lake City and get a new back brace and shoes, that they're more than willing to pay for that.
So is that where Jaxon gets his stuff? So it's, you don't have it here, you go to Salt Lake City for a lot of Jaxon stuff?
It was what we were doing. Now, because of the pandemic, I'm starting to do resourcing here, just to try to get the shoes in that back, because I don't think it's safe, as we've heard that some kids with developmental disabilities, that COVID can affect them quite hard, and it's not worth taking that chance. So yeah, it's been a journey with Jaxon, but you know, we've learned a lot, and hopefully helped a lot of people along the way with our stories and our journey, and that we never give up. And you know, as the parents, we have to put the guilt aside and rise above it, and find ways to give our children these amazing lives. Because it doesn't change anything, right? Just changes their way of doing things.
So you were saying that he was on, I'm going to say it wrong, interferon, and then he's been off of that. So only because I know a bit of your story, you guys went to Salt Lake City for some medical care for Jaxon. What, how did that happen? How did that come about? And
it's an amazing system.
So what did he have to go to Salt Lake City for?
So we went to Salt Lake City because I felt I wasn't getting the care that I needed here, and it's all over the place. We went to Salt Lake City, the Shriners Hospital. It was one day.
No way.
All the doctors saw him in one day. They sized him up for a back brace, got him shoe lifts, sent him home, brought him back 3 weeks later when everything was ready. He flew back to Salt Lake City and got sized and fitted, and then waited a day, had to wear it. Adjustments were made the second day, and he was sent home.
Wow, so fast and so organized.
it was so organized. It was like bang, appointment, fix, send them home. It was not like, okay, we're going to see the ophthalmologist today, tomorrow or a month later, you're going to see ortho, then you're going to see, all these, like, people don't understand the amount of doctors that we have to see, because it doesn't just affect one part of the body.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
everything.
Where's
Right?
Jackson's biggest complaint with NF, like on his body? You were saying it's like all over. Like, where's Jackson's biggest challenge?
I'd say it would be his plexiform tumor that decided to attach to the sciatic nerve in his back. So it runs from his back all the way to his kneecap, and then goes back up, pulls behind his like lower butt cheek,
Okay.
and then is now starting to spread across the pelvic bone and stuff like that. So there's a lot of nodules showing up. There's a lot of fast moving growth. So there's a lot of fear. A lot of people don't know it can turn cancerous if it's growing very quickly, because it is massive stress on that part of the body. So when we see rapid growth or the tumor doubling in size, we take pictures, send it to the hospital right away. And that's what happened last week. I noticed on the weekend, he was getting his like back rubbed, and he's like, I'm like, hey bud, how's this looking? And he's like, oh, it's all right. And I looked, and I'm like, no, it's like the tumor has surfaced probably about half an inch above the skin now. So it's starting to do what NF does when it starts to get bad. It starts to expose itself and grow. And because his is encapsulating the whole leg muscle.
Yeah.
Right. So it's really, he can't ride a bike. He doesn't like to walk. He doesn't even want to go to school. I don't blame him, but he does. He gets up and he goes to school. So I'd like, hey, and Shannon's been great. She says, if he can't come out for the walks and the bike rides and stuff, at least have him happy. At least he's playing Fortnite or something and interacting with other kids. Something is better than nothing.
Yeah, keeping him going.
Mm-hmm.
What type of treatment is he undergoing right now for the tumor?
Right now we're on nothing at all.
Okay.
So the next step, he has ortho appointments coming up probably in about the next month.
Okay.
Jaxon also has like a 4-inch leg length discrepancy because of the size of the tumor. It's feeding excessive blood to that leg. So the tumor tells it to grow faster and all this other stuff. So it's almost like 4 inches, like it's like that much difference.
Wow.
Yeah. So ortho's next plan is to do a leg length discrepancy fix.
Okay.
And it's an extensive surgery. They have to like move the bone, and then the bone finds itself, and then they reconnect. And it's pretty cool, but it's very like ancient looking, like they've got a cage around their leg and stuff. But
yeah, Tyler had 2 of those, so I
exactly.
I feel you. Yeah.
So we're going for number 1 here. Hopefully this one works, and we only have to do it the once. But I'm really looking forward to it, because I'm like, maybe he can ride a bike. Maybe he can actually go and run without falling on his face. Awesome. Walk without these shoe lifts where everybody can see that he's different.
Yeah.
Take that stigma right out of it, right? So I've seen it work, and we're just fingers crossed and hope and pray for that. And then they're going to work on his back brace and stuff as well.
Okay. So like we all know. Yeah, go ahead.
And this is where the fun, great news came in.
Okay.
So we get to hear the good news too.
Yeah.
So everybody's probably heard about ADZ 6244, and then now the new name was selumetinib.
Yeah.
And now, as what is it? The guys who are doing the COVID vaccine, AstraZeneca is actually going to be the one making it.
Okay.
We found out on Friday that Jaxon is on the list, and there is a list, so you can request it. So like our doctor was able to put us on the list, and I've been pushing for it for like 6 years since I found out about it.
Yeah.
So it's in Canada. They are talking with the drug company right now, and they are working to get our NF kids the miracle drug.
Yeah, that would be amazing. The benefits that could come for Jaxon is like impacting him hugely, right?
For sure, because I think at this point in time, with it impeding so much of his leg and his lifestyle, it just makes it for him where he can actually go for a walk with us, or have a little bit of fun without going, okay, well, I'm in pain now.
Yeah.
You know, to be able to have this for our kids it's a dream come true, and we've fought so long for it, right? And it's like, wow, it's just like it's finally here. So fingers crossed, it's not too much more of a wait, but kind of like the COVID thing, we're at the finish line. We just got to keep going until we get there.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's going to be amazing. I can't wait to see like the kids and all the stuff that it you know, all the people that it can help.
Yeah, definitely. When what's it like for you guys as a family and traveling and having to go all the way to Salt Lake City for that? How does that impact your guys' family? Like, does Jackson have fun when he goes? And like, what's it like for you
For
guys?
him, it's cool because he gets all lots of free stuff. He likes his toys and he likes getting his treats and stuff. It's kind of like been nice that the community's been able to do that for him. He feels special. He gets like all these little treats where he goes places where people understand where he's going, what he's going through. But yeah, it was like, I think for all of us, it's just that nice to get away, even if it is to go to a doctor. It's that not at home, you know, you get away and you get to see other kids that are going through stuff, and when they all have their disabilities, they look at each other and they don't see anything. They just see kids and they want to play. So it's really nice to have that like instant friendships and stuff that they build, and the age doesn't seem to matter and stuff like that. Like the McDonald house, the Ronald McDonald house there was like phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
they really interacted with the kids. There was little treat boxes for them. They made them feel super special. And they are, right? Like Jackson's gone through more at 11 years old, almost 12, than most people will ever see in their whole life and in their family.
Yeah.
So, you know, for people to see that and hopefully see these videos and just learn that, you know, we're just families just like them. We just have to do things differently and work a little harder and think of our kids and get them everything they need.
Yeah. To get the Salt Lake City, did you guys get funding for that? Did that have to come out of your own pocket? How did that work?
Shriners pays for everything.
Shriners does. They take care
Shriners
of you.
pays for everything. Hotel, the flights, they picked us up at the airport. They took us to Ronald McDonald House. They paid for back and forth from Ronald McDonald House to the Shriners Hospital and Shriners Hospital back, and then back to the airport. And plus, they gave meal allowance money
Okay.
because the Ronald McDonald House there is run by volunteers.
Okay.
So there's a lot of people that just come in and cook for people, and there's not always a lot of food that everybody likes. So they give you a little bit of a food allowance and stuff like that. So that was really cool.
Nice. So you guys are still receiving follow-up care through Salt Lake City? Like, is it
We
just
can,
like,
yeah.
yeah, so you guys, since COVID has started, have you guys traveled there, or is it just done on like how we're doing right now, like on a Zoom call? Is it
Pretty much all the Jackson's documents will go there. At this point in time, they said that the care that he's going to get there in here is the same, unless he wants to get the funding for the back brace and the shoe lifts and everything.
okay.
But yeah, since COVID, we haven't really pushed for any of that to happen. Trying to really find some stuff here, because at least like the shoe lifts, they're only like $300, so it's not huge. So getting funding for that's pretty easy.
Okay.
But the back brace is 3,000 and up, right? So
Yeah.
and he can grow out of that in a couple months.
Yeah. Yeah. And are you
So
are you finding it hard finding funding for that?
yeah, I've talked to a lot of places, and everybody's pretty much saying that because of COVID, a lot of the charitable donations have stopped. They can't have their big, huge fundraisers like even like we used to have, you know, like the big, huge gatherings where we can get everybody together and we do like a fundraising night. Well, that's just not an opportunity right now. So it's more getting awareness out there, I think, through digital media, anything like that, that can just keep people in their mind that, you know, we are here and we need help to be able to help these kids, right?
Yeah.
Or these families, even the people that we have.
Yeah, exactly. So with that, as you're saying, getting awareness, when you are out, are you a person as a dad that shares when people ask about Jackson? Does Jackson share himself? Is he comfortable with that, or is he more shy away from sharing about his journey?
Jackson is very blank, good word for it. He doesn't have a lot of emotion.
Yeah.
He's got a little bit of it was Asperger's, but now Asperger's is kind of being faded out, and it's
Okay.
just like high functioning autism,
Okay.
is where they call it. Is the way he seems to be acting. It's not like he hasn't been 100%, but diagnosed. But that's, I work with people like that every day,
Yeah.
and you can see it. Doesn't
Okay.
give hugs. He's not very physically emotional at all. Pretty oblivious to all of it. I think he's just been going through it like since he was 2. So like hospitals are nothing,
Yeah.
but big huge thing. He did his first MRI the other day without sedation. So
Woo!
that was cool. I sat right behind him the whole time, and he was super good. We were finished in half an hour, and then like, none of this 45-minute wake up,
Yeah.
and they're so like all over the place, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is so difficult, right? It was just
Yeah.
a bad experience every time, and that's gone now. He's like, I can do the MRI, no problem.
Awesome.
So that was
Awesome.
really cool.
Well, that must have given him some confidence, eh?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's part of his obliviousness too, right? Like he just heard the movie, watched the movie, and he didn't even realize what was going on around him. Like, I didn't even hear
No.
it. I'm like,
Completely.
oh, don't we all wish we could do that?
Yeah, that'd be nice. Just a flip of a switch and go about our day. Yeah.
Mhm.
How have you guys, or how have you overcome the challenges that NF has brought into your guys' life, and now the new one with Emerson getting it? How do you guys overcome those
It,
challenges?
it's been really hard. Um, I think the biggest thing that anybody really wants to know, the best thing is, don't feel guilty. Put that away. That's not going to help anybody.
Mm.
Look at yourself and your partner and accept what happened, and find ways to make your life better that way. You can't blame each other. You can't feel upset about it. It is what it is, and these are our children, and it's not their fault either.
Yeah.
So me and Shannon aren't together anymore. So I think like my biggest thing was that the communication and being there for each other can't stop,
Yeah.
no
It's for
matter
the
what.
kids.
Accept it and carry on. Love each other for everything. Like
Yeah.
lumps and bumps and cafe au laits and all, you love each other no matter what, right? And I think just understanding that, and we've seen it, that the world is accepting and people are amazing.
Yeah.
Just surround yourself by that. Don't
Yeah.
let the negative people hurt you. Don't let them talk you down, because it doesn't change anything. Their
No.
opinion really doesn't matter.
No.
It's what you feel inside. And if you're a good person and you're doing your very best, then that's all that
Yeah. Definitely. That's
matters. Because as a father, I call it
Mhm.
the man looking in through the mirror. I
Oh,
watch
okay.
Shannon and the 2 kids not suffering, thriving from it, and
Yeah.
living their life. And it's difficult. I don't have it. And
Yeah.
yet it hurts a lot
Yeah.
finding those ways to
Yeah.
help them, because I feel bad. I can't take it away. I can't make it better. There's no medicine I can fight for and until it came.
Yeah.
And, it's been a long battle trying to find these things that are going to give our kids and family a way to like thrive and live a full life and not have to worry about these things, and it's been super hard.
I
And
can
that's
see
why
that.
when I had the extra time, I helped the Tumour Foundation as much as I could. I spread the word, tried to come up with ideas to the billboards, stuff like that, to just get that word out there, because it's really hard.
Yeah, I can see it on you. Like yeah, you feel it, right? Right to the core, right?
Mhm.
But you're doing it, right? You're out there, you're asking the questions, you're reaching out to the people that you need to make sure that the kids get what they need, right? Like you didn't just stop at, oh, it's not here. Where can I find the care that they need? And you went to Salt Lake City, you found Shriners and you went there. So doing that is just amazing, and that's helping them thrive through it, right? And it's helping the rest of us thrive through it, right? Like I think what you're doing is an amazing job to be able to do that and keep going every day, right? um so
Exactly.
I got a question for you, with all this. If you had a magic wand, and I know we can't cure NF, I mean, we would all love to, but if there's something that you could do for those living with NF, wave that magic wand, what would it be? Especially maybe for us here in BC, Canada. What would you do for us?
I think a meeting place,
Yeah.
you know, I think having a place where you can go and have that support system. With my new job, I really realize every day how much support means.
Yeah.
No matter what you're going through, a lot of people turn to drugs, alcohol, abuse, all these other things, and that's not helping anything.
Yeah.
So having a support system and a place where you could do that, like when COVID's over, where we could all meet and the kids can play and see that, you know, they're not the only one and be accepted for who they are, you know, nobody looking at them wondering, you know,
Yeah.
it would, I think that would be really huge.
Yeah. Just to have that community, that connection.
Our own foundation home,
Yeah.
you know, like a
Yeah.
foundation home, like we've been all saying for years, you know, it's just so hard because of the situation and funding and money and everything like that. Getting a brick and stone building for our NF families would be massive.
Yeah. Yeah. To be able to go, like you said, at Shriners and go in and have that care and that support that you need all right there would be amazing.
In and out, because these, you don't realize as we come in the door and they see us and they're like, oh, it's just another family going through. But this family had to take days off work, which now takes food off the table.
Yeah.
You have to pay for parking, now takes more food off the table. All these things that the families that come there should not have to worry about. Like, I think free parking would be a good way to start at Children's Hospital, you know?
Everywhere. That was like for the medical care, I never understood that.
I could never understand it as a father who's worked for them.
Yeah.
I would get parking tickets because I was working in graveyard shift and emerge.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, how is that even possible?
Like that,
Do it at
right?
schools, but the mall, it's free.
I know, right? I know. Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's a little twisted. So even if we could start there with some free parking at Children's and take that thought off, I don't want to leave my kid's bedside to go pay parking.
Yeah.
That'd be a good place. Maybe it's a small start, right?
But it's a start, right? So for Jaxon and Emerson and everybody, what is something that you guys are looking forward to in this next little bit? Like what's a goal that you guys are shooting for?
The new medicine I think would be great just because it would boost Jaxon so much.
Yeah.
I think if he's not in pain and he's actually getting the tumor reduction and he starts getting more mobile, it could be actually more of a family unit. Being separated now, it's a little bit harder. But I think at the end of the day, it's just to live with that hope that you know, that Jaxon can finally be a part of the family and not just be like, hey, just leave me alone. I'm happier by myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's school been for the kids? Are they homeschooled? Do they go to school? How's school with this whole COVID and everything been going for them?
It's really good. BC, I like the schools have done a phenomenal job for the most part. They both go to really good schools, so there's no classroom changes. There's nothing. They go, like Jaxon goes to middle school and he does not change classes. He sits in his one desk all day. We talked to the school and had them, we supplied it, but they allow him to keep his cushion and stuff at the school for his back and like for his bum.
Yeah.
They were totally really good about that and just keeping it at the school so that we're not bringing it back and forth and, you know, trying not to transmit as much as possible.
Yeah.
And same with Emmy's school. Like they've been just phenomenal with the way they keep the kids and there's been no outbreaks at their schools. So that's been really good.
Yeah. Has it affected them in any way? Do you see any changes in them with how everything is? It's just going to school. That's how it is.
It's going
Normal
to school.
kids.
Emerson, it was funny at Christmas time. He's like, you know, Dad, 2 weeks. I'm like, what's 2 weeks? He goes, COVID will be over. It's a whole brand new year. And I'm like, oh, baby, I wish I could think like that. I'm like, a whole new year. Everything changes today and starts again tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, it doesn't work that way, babe, but good so positive thinking, right?
Yeah, that's awesome. I like that one. Nice.
Yeah, we can only hope, right? But I think as long as everybody just keeps following what they're doing, keep your bubble small. It kind of like to make you realize how important family is. You know, it's really making people in which was something that was missing, I think, for a long time. So
Yeah.
I think we all needed to support our families a little more and look back and be like, you know what? Yeah, I'm too busy to do what? Pick up the phone and see if my family's okay. But that one phone call could make somebody's day, month, year. You never know, right?
Yeah, exactly. Wow. You guys have been quite on the journey, but the good news that you guys got is amazing, and Jaxon is doing pretty good, right? And you know, I just, you guys have just like inspired us all the way along, right? And to hear you just standing there as a rock to make sure that they have what they need is just amazing to hear from a dad, right? Because we talk to all these moms and we never get to talk to you guys. So thank you so
Yeah,
much for coming on today and
no problem. Thank
sharing
you for
with us
having me.
all and updating us on how everybody's doing. And it'd be great to check in with you guys again in a little bit and see where you guys have come since then. And yeah, so thank you so much for coming on the show today, Mike. And I hope to see you soon in real life. Would be nice. Get, like you said, that community together. That would be
For sure, that would be
wonderful.
amazing. And if anybody has any questions, they can feel free to reach out to you and they can ask me and we'll
Okay.
figure out whatever the kids need.
Okay. So if they can leave a comment or anything like that, you're okay and open to questions, and wonderful.
For sure.
So there you go, guys. You heard it right from the mouth of Mike. If you have any questions, reach out, and thank you again. And we will see you guys next week with a new guest. Bye, everybody.
Awesome. Thank you, Brandy.
Bye.
Bye.